This video is going to be a little bit different because I recorded it when I was in Germany a couple of weeks ago. You see, I was invited to this NATO summit where I got a chance to speak about the future of drone warfare. And a lot of times people ask me like, hey, what did you think of Germany? What did you think of my country? And so I wanted to answer them in a video like this. So I actually filmed this video while I was waiting for the Bundeswehr to take me to the airport to get me on a plane to come back home. So first I'm going to have a 1-minute commercial for Blinkist, and then I'm going to show you the video. It's 8:23 in the morning, and I want to show you my schedule. It's Tuesday, October 29th, and this is my whole day worth of meetings. The whole point here is that I do not have a lot of time, and Blinkist gives me actionable summaries of over 6,500 nonfiction books and podcasts in just 15 minutes to read or listen to, usually while I'm working out in the morning. Like there's this book called The 5 a.m. Club, which is about how the first hour of your day might be the most important. Blinkist allows me to absorb the complex ideas of a book in like 15 to 30 minutes, and with Blinkist Spaces, you can see what I'm reading and I recommend. So join me and over 31 million other Blinkist subscribers in getting smarter every single time we pick up our phone. And get 40% off Blinkist annual premium. Start your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description below or scanning the QR code on screen. Now let's get back to the video. This is my last day in Germany. I was at a NATO conference on the subject of warfare in the drone and missile age, where I got to talk about all sorts of cool stuff, like loitering munitions and the future of drone warfare, low-cost drones, and agile combat employment, how things like agile combat employment could be ruined by a selfie. The actual presentation I did is not available online, but I'm probably going to redo it for my YouTube audience. And I have a couple of minutes until my driver gets here. I think this might be my driver here right now. There's the Bundeswehr car right there that supposedly is going to take me to the airport. It's going to be really tight. One funny thing is that the person who invited me here, they want to leave at 8 o'clock to get to Dusseldorf for an international flight. And I'm used, like in America, you show up for an international flight like 3 hours before the flight. And I was like, yeah, this is cutting it kind of close, isn't it? And he's like, no, we're very efficient in our TSA. Like, okay, I hope so. So I wanted to do just a quick video on some of the things that I realized in Germany, or my opinions of Germany since I've been here. Yeah, since I've done this for Australia, I've done this for other cities. So first of all, I'm in Essen, Germany, and it's nice here. You know, I can tell you that I never once felt unsafe walking around. The funny thing is that I was in Germany. I was in Hohenfels, almost 30 years ago. Can you believe it? I'm that old. 30 years ago, I was in Hohenfels, and it's like my German came back. Like I just, I remembered how to say excuse me, ask for directions, ask where the toilet was, buy a beer, I had to go to the mall and buy an umbrella. And actually, a lot more people speak English now than did 30 years ago, at least, from what I see. And I think that, everyone wants to practice their English. I think I only met like 2 people who insisted I speak German or didn't know how to speak English. And for more complex phrases, I just used my phone. Couple of funny things here. I'm actually out in the smoking area, which they have very nice smoking areas here in Germany. I don't think you can smoke indoors anymore. Maybe you can at private clubs or something, but I didn't go to one. The person who brought me here was really kind, and he bought me like 3 cigars, which I smoked, out here in the smoking area. Probably about maybe a third of the population still smokes, but that might be skewed because a lot of people staying at this conference are soldiers. So soldiers just might tend to smoke more than the average person. Because I know whenever we had breaks, like everyone in NATO would be, not everyone, but probably a third of the people in NATO would be out smoking cigarettes in a little courtyard by the conference center. So the smoking thing is like night and day from Australia, right? Where on Australia, you couldn't find any place to smoke. And when you did smoke, people looked at you like you were the devil, right? And here, like many people smoke. I also thought that was kind of interesting that people came outside to vape. You know, like you couldn't vape in your room. I don't vape, so I don't know. Maybe vaping does make a smell. But yeah, people would come outside just to vape. So a couple of other things, interesting things. I said I didn't feel unsafe once. I had to go into the center of the city a couple of times. And it's like to the mall there just to pick up some stuff that I needed. And I rode the train. And the train here, it's like night and day from the Washington, D.C. Metro. You know, the Metro might run like every 20 minutes when it's not rush hour. And so this train system here, in fact, I'm right across from the U11 line in Essen, which takes you right into the city. So I look at the U11 line and I'm like, you know, I couldn't figure out how to actually work how to buy a ticket. Like there's a ticket machine there. I'm like, do I need one ride? Do I need 4 rides? I probably need one ride back and forth. Does that mean one trip point to point? Does that mean one? You know, there's really no directions. And I actually tried to use Google Lens to figure out what each ticket meant, and I couldn't figure that out. So I just bought a ticket thinking like, man, if I get arrested, it's a stupid reason to get arrested by the Polizei, right? You couldn't figure out how to work the train thing. But I gave it the old college try. I had a ticket with me. And then, you know, in the U.S., when you go through the subway, there's like turnstiles, and you prove that you paid. Here you just get on. And I guess you have your ticket with you. Maybe they check it. I don't know. So, like, I think I bought, like, a 4-trip ticket, and I'm like, there's no place to punch it or get it validated to prove that it's your first ride or your second ride. I guess it's just the honor system, and I asked a few people about that, and they said, oh, yeah, the train system here, it is very weird. This is not... You know, like the Germans are complaining about the train system. I'm thinking, like, what do you have to complain about? Your train system seems amazing. The other funny thing is there's a path up here, and I used to run that path in the morning. Beyond that, the path went over an overpass, and normally in America there are fences like cages on either side of the overpass to make sure that you don't like fall off the overpass, you know, or maybe you get depressed and you go over the overpass and fall into traffic. And I did ask one guy about that. Like, you notice there's no fences on the overpasses? And this guy was like, why would you do that? It would inconvenience everyone trying to get to work in the morning. Like, I guess, like, that is a question, right? Like, yeah, I guess in Germany, like, well, we might jump off an overpass. We're going to do it on off hours so we don't inconvenience anyone. It does sound like a very German thing to do. The food here was pretty good. I had Wiener Schnitzel, which I'm pretty sure I had back when I was in Germany 30 years ago. And Wiener Schnitzel is just like veal that they pounded out into something that's like really thin, and they fry it. The food was good. The coffee here, it's interesting because it's almost like Germans view coffee as like a luxury item that's designed to be savored, not the American view of coffee as medicine. You know? So I thought that was kind of interesting, that there certainly was a difference in like how our two countries view coffee. Yeah, and the coffee is good. I actually don't need sweetener for this. The other interesting thing is that even if I didn't go running in the morning, I was still able to get in probably about 15,000 steps a day. And so I actually weighed myself, because I was like, I went down a notch on my belt just being here for a couple of days. And I realized something. It was like, it is really, this is why Europeans are so skinny. And maybe the food is better or purer or something like that. There's no corn syrup in it. But they walk everywhere. And I literally lost 2 pounds and was able to do 15,000 steps a day without even thinking about it. You know, I didn't get in the car. I got in the car on the way to the airport, or coming, you know, when I arrived, come from the airport, I'm going to get in the car again, going to the airport in another 15 minutes or so. So it's trivial to hit 15,000 steps. Whereas, like, in my daily life in the U.S., like, if I don't work at it, like if I don't go running in the morning, you know, maybe I'll hit 3,000, 4,000 steps, just like walking around the house. Because you drive everywhere. You drive everywhere, at least where I live. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see. I covered the train. I covered food. I covered language. Oh, the beer. Yeah, that was the other funny thing. I drank beer every single day, and it was delicious. And I believe here at the conference, I don't think they served beer during lunch, but they served wine. I wouldn't be surprised if we were in Bavaria, like if we were in southern Germany, because Essen is in western Germany, like kind of close to the border. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we were in southern Germany, they would have had beer with lunch. Because number one, the beer is good, and number two, just culturally, it's just normal to drink beer. When I was at the mall, I was walking through the mall, and there were people who were drinking cans of beer in the mall. You know, like that's not something in America, it would be like an open container violation. If you were walking around drinking beer in the mall, people would be like, Jesus Christ, was this guy drinking a beer in the mall? But here in Germany, it was just perfectly normal to drink a beer in the mall. That was fascinating. Like, wow. And the beer is good. The beer is very good here. Just as I remember it. And what's funny is, years ago, I actually found out that I liked Hefeweizen. And back when I was a soldier, like my squad leader would be like, oh, you know, that's a beer for girls. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I think it's freaking delicious. So, you know, I like Hefeweizen. And what was kind of neat is the person who invited me to the conference, he actually, he gave me like a gift basket with all this stuff, a couple of cigars and some beer in there. And it was very good. I think I pretty much covered everything. I want to talk about NATO for a little bit because, some of the people at the conference, the JAPCC, Joint Air Power Conference, every single person there was concerned about Russia. Every single person was concerned about Russia. And there were people from all over Europe, from England, or from the UK, France, Canada, the Netherlands, of course, Germany, Turkey, Greece, Lithuania. I met one guy from Lithuania. Let me tell you something. In America, we have this luxury of not having to worry about Russia. Like, Russia is an abstraction for us living in America. And for people from Lithuania, for soldiers from Lithuania, or pilots from Lithuania, it's very real. Russia is a very real thing. And they are genuinely aware that Russia is a threat. And I wish all of these doubters, all of these haters, these people who say, oh, we shouldn't be giving money to Ukraine, we have problems at home. I wish they could see the briefings that I saw and talk to the people that I spoke with. Because the Lithuanians know that they're next. If Ukraine falls, Lithuania is next. If Lithuania falls, Poland is next. Now, I did talk to a couple of Polish soldiers, and as HLC calls it, little European Texas, as he calls Poland. I mean, these guys are buying every tank that can be made. They're buying Korean tanks. They're buying American tanks. I think the Polish are buying more HIMARS rocket launchers than America owns. Like, we're building new HIMARS rocket launchers for them. Like, Poland is that serious about defending itself. And I thought that was actually pretty interesting, actually seeing it in action. The other interesting thing is I was talking with the Italians, and this one Italian pilot I was talking to, they have a reserves in Italy, but it's not quite like the American system where you have a civilian job, but you also do other things. You have a civilian job, but then you go fly on 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And Italy isn't quite like that for pilots. And I guess maybe Italy is experiencing some kind of pilot shortage because pilots are joining the Italian military and they're learning how to fly, and they're not staying because they're not quite getting paid as much as they should get paid. And that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why Italy doesn't have a reserve system that allows pilots to fly for the military but also fly their civilian plane. But maybe that's something they should kind of consider doing, because it seems to work out well for the U.S. And I think that is pretty much it. I had a fantastic time here in Germany. I think this is a lovely country. I want to say it's just as I remembered it, but the difference between Western Germany and Essen are way different than southern Germany and Regensburg or Munich, or Hohenfels, where I was before. But thank you so much for inviting me to your country and allowing me to experience this. Danke. I really enjoyed my time here.
Oh man, I'm so bored! Christ on crutches with a permanent profile. That's because you have the wrong toys. You need a Ryan McBeth in action figure from the Knife Hand Company. That's right, Ryan McBeth in action figures go everywhere. Put them on your desk, your Crocs, your keychain. You can even ask Ryan advice.
Ryan, why does Daddy ignore me when I'm over his house for the weekend?
Because your new mommy is way hotter than your old mommy. Trading cards. You get a free trading card in every box. Now that's Ryan-rific. So come on down to the Knife Hand Company and get your in-action figure today.
Alcoholism, cigarettes, and non-service connected hearing loss sold separately.